All right, mic check. Let's see how this is working. All right, let's try this again. Mic check. Is it working now? Yeah, it's working, but it seems to be very, very low for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I've been just having the tech day from hell today. Nothing has been working today the way it's supposed to. Hi, Des. Good to see you. Not on your end? You checked both? Okay. Well, that's good. All right. All right. Sound nice and loud. All right. I give up. I don't know. Whatever. It's all good. I'm sure it's all good. It's just been a day today. Everything seems to like just not want to work properly. Whatever. It's not a big deal. It's just annoyances. That's really all it comes down to. I don't know that I'll be able to do the React today. I think I might save it for Sunday because I did not get it set up. Asheru says, I wish I could see the stream, but you have to finish your homework. No worries. Hope you're doing well. Painting looks sick. Thank you very much. And good luck with your homework. And unless I say something really horrible, the VOD should be on my YouTube channel later, so you can always watch it after the fact if you feel like it. So, minus something horrible or a wardrobe malfunction. Today was crazy for me. Now to relax, says Des. Good. I'm glad you're getting to relax. And thank you, whoever did, for the like on on the uh, the video on the live stream. I appreciate it. All right. So I store my palette on the floor most of the time, purely out of convenience or laziness, however you want to phrase it. In an airtight container, it's just sometimes I need the my table space for different things, so it's easier to just have this on the floor. Crap. 1 second. Damn it. I, okay, we'll do it this way. If you put it on the floor, you'd have a cat sitting on it in 20 seconds. Um, yeah, my cats sit on it sometimes, honestly. Um, they do, but it's in a plastic thing. It doesn't really matter. Um, so I've even had my dog even stepped on it a couple of times, and it didn't do anything to it. So pretty sturdy container. Props to them for that. He's I think he's like 60 pounds at the moment, something like that. I will say this: my workroom is closed to the cats and the dog and everything when I'm not in it. I never. I mean, I'll leave them in here sometimes for a couple minutes if I like just run out to the bathroom or something, but they don't. I don't leave my door open and like leave. Oh, Des says her dog's 55 pounds. Yeah. All right. This famous last words shouldn't take too long to finish today. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to finish this today. That is the plan. That is the goal, and I do think it's doable. Absolutely. So I don't know if you can tell, but I did change some of the. Oh shoot. Okay, for a second I thought I. Anyways, I had a screen. I had a window covering a window, so for a second I thought I didn't have the full thing on. Yeah, I changed a lot of this stuff right here. I think it's actually starting to come together pretty well. So it still has some of the chaoticness that was there before, but now it also feels, I think, a little more cohesive and connected to the painting. I might end up getting my head in the shot today. We'll see, because I have to go in and get some real details in there at some point. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm just trying to assess where I want to start right now. I think I'm going to start doing some hair in here, just a little bit, so that it makes a little more sense as to what is happening. I feel like that might be a little unclear at the moment. How's the class going, Des? Yeah, but while I guess while waiting for an answer, not that Des has to answer, or other chatters, I'm going to talk about the video I saw today. I saw someone, an artist, posted a how to get started in oil paints video, and she's an acrylic painter, and she's a good painter. This is not a critique of her painting, quite that at all. But I saw this video and I was like, some of this stuff that some of the information that she's giving is good. Some of it less so. Um, or some of it's incomplete. And I recognize it. There's also comedy happening and all this other stuff. So I was like, I think I'll do I kind of want to try doing a react to it. And I was thinking about doing it live, and still am. Only issue with doing it live is that I have to set it up properly for that, and it's a little harder to do. And today was not the tech day for me to set up anything. So I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna leave this alone for today, because trying to do anything is probably going to kill me, and I will worry about it for another day. Also, she just posted the video, and if we're going to be watching the video live, I feel kind of weird. Like, I mean, I don't think I really take views away from anybody at my size, but still, if don't want to do that. Des is saying, it's good you were at your mom's to watch the live. He and another coach took examples from posted work in the Facebook group, and with permission did edits to the pieces showing improvement in shape and value. That's cool. Because I gave a critique the other day, or on Sunday, I think it was, something that I always think about when I give a critique, and I think everybody should take this in consideration when they get critique, is it is very hard to give a critique without like imposing your own sensibilities into something. And that is always something to take into consideration when giving and receiving a critique. I try not to like impose my own sensibilities in a critique, but to a degree I'm going to. Um, Actually, I take that back. Probably to a large degree I'm going to. It's just unavoidable. I just recognize that, or I hope that people recognize when to take that into consideration, because sometimes that can mean like basically that you can disregard the critique that you're getting. Just depends on what it is, uh, what the person's saying and what their sensibilities are. And it's not always easy to know who whose you know whose critique you can basically disregard and whose I mean, you can disregard everyone's, but who you should and shouldn't disregard and who you should take into consideration. It's not easy. I remember one year. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, sorry. Thought I saw something on uh, my OBS. I remember one year when I went to Comic Con. Actually, I went to Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con a few years, and got critiqued. Talked about this before, but I remember one year I went and got a critique from a Dark Horse editor, and this guy was very straightforward, not mean, just straightforward. Um, didn't hold back at all, but he wasn't like I said, he wasn't mean about it, and it was some of the best feedback I'd ever gotten, and it was so useful and so well done that I could actually act on it and make changes based off of the feedback he had given me. Whereas a lot of times the feedback I'd get from people is like, okay, cool. What do I do with that? Like, I don't know how to implement this, this feedback because there's like no real information here. It would be like getting feedback on a video game and it'd be like, okay, so here's what you need to do. Get good. And then they walk away. It's like, okay, cool. How? It's that type of thing. But no, this guy gave really, really good feedback. I wish I could remember his name. For the life of me, I cannot remember his name. But he did such a good job of giving feedback. I also remember one time I went for, portfolio review and I showed the person all my drawings and I got critiqued for putting X's um, in the areas that were meant to be black um, instead of just making them black. Instead of filling them in, I put like little X's, um, and I got critiqued for that. Yeah. And then the next year, I did a portfolio review where I filled in all the X's. And I filled in all the blacks instead of putting any X's, and I got critiqued for that too. So I very much understand people when they feel like there's no winning in portfolio reviews. Sometimes it does feel like that. I get that. I know that feeling very well. For anyone who isn't familiar with comic books, marking your blacks with X's is a very common practice because the penciler will pencil in everything, and then instead of filling in everything, they'll just mark it with an X, little X's everywhere, and then the inker goes in and fills it in. Um, and there's numerous reasons why they do that. Time, of course, being one of them. Also, it's easier to ink over paper than it is like filled in um, pencil lines. Also, that way they know it's black versus like a gradation. Like there's all kinds of reasons for it. Yeah. So if you ever go and buy comic book pages and you see that, that's why that's there. So this is not exactly art related, but there's a streamer um, who she's a gamer and she got caught basically cheating at a blindfold challenge in gaming. And she doubled down and then got caught cheating again. Uh, and the internet, the gaming internet, I should say, the Twitch world has been just, and I'm sure other places too, Reddit and so on, have just been shitting all over her. Um, and if you know, before I found out that people were giving her a hard time, which I knew people would, but um, I thought it would be funny to do a stream where I paint while I'm blindfolded, but be able to see through, obviously, like it's satire, like that's the idea, right? Um, yeah, well, obviously I'm faking. I'd be faking it. I'm not even going to try to pretend I'm not faking it. But after everybody um, has taken the joke in general a little too far, like apparently she's basically like deleted her YouTube or her Twitch. Wait, maybe not her Twitch, but I think her Twitter and everything. And she's basically gone like radio silent because people have been giving her such a hard time. I'm like, maybe I won't do that because I don't want to really contribute to this. But I did think it would be funny. What do you think? Is it still worth it? Should I buy a magician's blindfold? Because, like I said, even though she cheated and she's being an idiot for doing that and so on, there's a limit to like the harassment that people get. It would be funny. You would hope she doesn't see it though. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't, like I said, I don't want to harass someone. And I know she deserves to get shit basically to a degree. But you know, within reason, I would say. And you know how the internet is. People don't know what that means. Hold on a second. I got a message. Work just messaged me. Uh, it can wait till tomorrow though, so good. All right. It's funny because I feel so torn between like the two worlds that I kind of inhabit of like, you know, internet culture and what's it called? Yeah, internet, Twitch, YouTube culture type of stuff. Um, and then like, you know, more on the fine art side, whatever that means. One day I'll figure out how to navigate all that stuff. Maybe, probably, I hope. I was actually just talking with Chelsea Lang recently and working on a plan on working on like my website and my Instagram and all that stuff. So I'll be putting some more effort into all of that soon. We'll see how that goes. Also, I have some funny ideas and I still need to film them. It's just, man, I don't know how people do this sometimes. It's like, where do they find the time? I don't know. When I was a kid, uh, oh, I was into comic books and, you know, you want all, you have that discussion when you're a kid of like, what superpowers would you want? What would you want to do, And, it's like, oh, I want to fly, I want to be invulnerable, all that, nonsense. Or whatever you might want to do, whatever that is. When I got older, I was like, I want to be able to multiply myself. I want multiples of me because I have too much to do and I need more people. Cody says, "Hey, Leo, I just stopped in a fuse looking sick, man." Oh, thanks so much, Cody. We, Cody, I've been thinking about you. We do need to talk sometime soon. I would love to have an actual call with you at some point. I finished my class with Nicholas Uribe, so my schedule has, I want to say freed up, but like sort of freed up. Des says that's when your life is too busy. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Cody. Um, Thanks for stopping by. Um, Appreciate it. Cody, are you going to go to the what's it called? The Portrait Society convention this year? Cody says, "Cool, yeah, let's put something on the books, maybe early next week." Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, not early next week. Thursday next week. Thursday or Friday. So late next week. I have like I have Tuesday is packed for me in addition to work, and then streaming uh Monday and Wednesday. So it's just yeah. Uh, yeah, when Tuesday just happens to be packed. Oh, I also have a yeah, appointments on Monday as well. So yeah, Thursday or Friday or the weekend, either way. I love how I'm like, oh yeah, my schedule's freed up a bit. Nope. It has though. It has a little bit. The class was, it's remarkable how difficult taking a class is as an adult. Like the amount of time it requires is crazy. Cody says, no, I wish you were going, right? Thursday and Friday are the days I teach, but I have hour-long breaks between each class. Okay, so no. You know what? Just message me. We'll message and we'll figure it out. I might be able to do something on Wednesday. Um, yeah, we'll just message. That'll be the best way. Definitely, it's like Tuesday is normally the best day for me, but not this Tuesday or this coming Tuesday. Yeah, I am going. This is going to be my first time going to the Portrait Society thing convention. In fact, I this is my first time joining the what's it called? The Portrait Society. I'm kind of torn on whether or not it is worth the money at the moment, but at the joining the Portrait Society in general, I'll give you my opinion on the convention afterwards. We'll see. But although I might not be able to actually give you an opinion afterwards, um, I went to Comic-Con for years and like a lot of times nothing directly ever came of it, but like the people I met, the being part of the groups I became a part of, and then all of that stuff like ended up, I think, contributing overall to things. So it's hard to tell sometimes. But he says, I'd even just like to hear about how you feel about the membership after a while. You've considered joining, but always talked myself out of it. Yeah, I'll be honest. Um, I haven't been a member for that long, and I might not be using it properly. Because they send me all kinds of stuff all the time, and there's like they keep sending me like emails where there's like a talk with this artist or that artist or whatever. Um, and I never like bother watching them, which obviously is on me. But some of them are. It's unclear to me because some of them seem like they're paid, some of them aren't paid. Like they're behind a paywall. Some aren't, some are. I think some are not behind a paywall live, but after the fact they are. I don't know. I'll put it this way. I think one of the things that they might not be the best at is clarity, because even they I applied for a competition with them, and even their like rejection letter was not the clearest in the world. I mean, don't get me wrong, I got the gist of it, but it could have been much clearer, and it wasn't. So I think that might be something they struggle with in general. But yeah, I'll be honest, so far, like if I didn't have the convention and I didn't get the like discount for the convention with the membership type of thing, at the moment, I don't think I would say that the membership is worth it. But like I said, I might also just be doing a bad job of using it, um, which, definitely could be the case. But I mean, I feel like it, sh- you know, it should be clearer or easier type of thing, right? Like maybe it is. I don't know. But like I get the emails and I'm just like, what's this? Okay, huh? Oh, whatever. I don't care. And I just keep going on with my day kind of thing. Part of that whole being too busy to deal with things. So it's just kind of like, all right, whatever. I don't care. Enough. Clarity is important, especially with large spread out memberships across the country. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could be easier or should be easier to understand. Like I said, I feel like I shouldn't have any question about what things are or aren't. Like it, I don't know, just, but I am dyslexic, and so maybe I'm just like not reading it right. I don't know. Whatever. I'm about to like redo my website, and I was really planning on dropping Squarespace and moving over to a different platform. I'm kind of segueing to a different subject, obviously, but I'm probably going to end up just sticking with Squarespace purely out of like ease of use. They finally, after so long, have a tool to transfer your old website into a new version of their platform. Um, so I don't know. I'll probably end up just staying with them. But for the longest time, I was going to switch away from them. I just never have the time to deal with all that stuff. Well, once again, kind of the clarity, like for the longest time, it was unclear to me. Like I didn't realize that I did what hadn't updated my website to the current version of their software. And then once I found out that I'd have to build a whole website to do that, I was so pissed. I need to, I keep forgetting to do this, but I do need to keep applying for the Boulder Brush competition. By the way, anyone who's watching Boulder Brush, you get a free entry every month into their monthly competition. Highly recommend doing it. I mean, if it's free, you might as well, right? Hi, camera. Can you not see me down here? Am I too low? Okay. All right. Going to be getting into the details, like the fine details. Uh, New. It's a little blurry. Ah, I was the wrong thing. I already screwed it up. Oh well. Let's screw it up some more. Might as well. I like these tools. I just can't figure out if these ones are too soft or not. Probably going to end up buying a bunch of firmer ones to try out. Two Dart Show. Hi. Hello. Welcome. How are you doing today? Good. What about you? I'm doing good. Just painting. Working on this self-portrait I did for well, I didn't I was on a podcast called Drawn Together on the Dylan Sarah YouTube channel, and they encourage people who view it to draw the person they are interviewing. And they also, the person who is getting interviewed usually paints or draws as well, which is what I did. So yeah, so I'm just trying to finish it off though. Hey Sujan, welcome. How you doing today? Good to see you. So that's what I'm doing today, just trying to finish this because it is dragged on for way too long. And part of the reason it's dragged on is I have drastically changed it from the beginning. Taking off for the night. Look forward to seeing the finish on Instagram. All right, Cody. No worries. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. It's good talking to you. So part of the reason it's a little blurry right now is part of this is digital zoom. It's not just optical zoom, unfortunately. It's a little blurry. Problem with doing all optical zoom is it messes up the what's it called? It messes up my distortion on the camera, and it distorts it in odd ways, and then it causes a lot of problems. Sujan says, thanks a lot again for the critique. Oh, happy to, man. Happy to. Oh my God, your painting is looking stunning. Thank you so much. Such a serious expression. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Uh, I have that look to me naturally. I don't know. Like, even when I'm not trying to, I can give off that kind of vibe. Um, yeah. Um, I've told this story before. I've scared like I scared a little old lady once when I was trying to help her with her find her car and stuff like that. Like it's just I give off that look even when I don't mean to. You love the Glower says your style too. The Glower or glove? I can't see that unfortunately. I'll see it in a minute. Stupid YouTube. Low. Okay. Sorry, the stupid heart's in the way and can't see past it sometimes. It's just really annoying. Oh, wait till you see what I've done with the background too when I zoom out. Yeah. My eyes have some of the, well, they're hazel technically. They have some of the weirdest combination of colors sometimes. Like they can't pick a color. Like we're gonna be gray, but that also means blue and green and brown. And we're gonna throw in a little bit of yellow for the fun of it. It's like, okay. Very intense eyes. Thank you. But yeah, it's just funny. So Jen says, if I had a choice, I would just watch someone paint all day and never paint myself. That sounds so lazy. I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. I will say, I think I recently commented on this on one of my posts. Someone made a comment, and one thing Actually I'll talk about it a little more than just a response post on Instagram. Sujan said, would you paint in oils if you had only 30 minutes a day? Yes. I think so. Is that including prep time and everything? Um, Maybe not. That would be, it would be difficult, but yeah, I don't know. I think so. I think so because um, you can minimize prep time a lot. Um, and in fact, if you do it right, I think you can actually minimize prep time more in oils than you can in other mediums. I mean, obviously your setup very much depends on, you know, on your situation. So, um, but to go back to what I was talking about briefly, and then I'll touch on the setup in a minute. Um, One of the things that really changed my painting, um, not just my skill or the quality of my painting, although it did affect that, also affected how much I enjoyed painting and drawing, and also how much I enjoyed my own work, was focusing more on the process of making the painting and less on the final outcome. Um, I know that sounds counterintuitive a lot, especially as someone who talks about how good it is to do exercises and stuff like that, which it is, it really is. But yeah, focusing on like enjoying the process and on that made a huge difference for me and how satisfied I was with my work. Or maybe it didn't make it that I was more satisfied with my work so much as it just let me enjoy the process more, regardless of the work I was making. Let's see. Says, oh, Arthur Gain puts in work to that bold brush thing. Ah, that's cool. Um, I'm Sujan says, I'm curious to know mind of creator, how they create and select for an artist. Amazing steadiness of your hand during small brush strokes. Well, I mean, I am resting it on I am using my little maul stick here, so that does help steadiness. Shows experience. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't. It does, but I don't think I'm particularly, uh, you know, skilled or coordinated in a way that like other people can't be, you know. As far as like the hand-eye coordination stuff, I'm talking. Don't get me wrong, it does. It definitely is something that you develop over time. I remember years ago, when Rock Band was popular, um, I went to a party and someone pulled out Rock Band, and I'd never played before. And at this point, I hadn't played video games in quite a while, mostly because I was too poor to play them. I didn't have money to buy them, and I didn't have time to play them. So I hadn't been playing video games for a while. And I try to play Rock Band, and I hold the guitar like everybody. Um, and so I'm left-handed, and the left side is the side where you hit the buttons. So it requires the most dexterity on your left hand. And at that time, I was mostly focused on comic book work. I was doing a ton of inking at the time. So the thing I was most focused on was like having a really, really steady hand and smooth line work, all the things that you would expect when inking. Um, and I tried playing Rock Band, and I was just like, oh my God, my hand does not want to move like this at all. Like my fingers hate this right now. Uh, yeah, I just remember that. It's such a weird feeling. Let's see. Suja says, did you feel guilty if you see your art supplies piling up stacks and stacks and then suddenly want to use them somehow? Like I feel guilty. Pastel papers, and now I'm using gouache. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had that happen, and I do feel guilty about some of that, especially certain things. Like, my girlfriend once bought me a really, really nice marker set, and it was like right before I stopped using markers. So she bought it for me, and then I like stopped right after that. Practically, I stopped using markers altogether. Um, yeah. So yeah, I sometimes, but I will say this. I do think that the creative process overall, like finding your creative process, it's not a very linear process always. Can be, but it's not always. And so it's important to remember that the experimentation to discover what you like is part of the process. Because how will you know what you like unless you try it? So yeah, it's just part of it, unfortunately. I kind of on a similar thing. I've always struggled with my sketchbooks. Like I always had a hard time drawing in my sketchbooks because I never wanted to like do a bad drawing in my sketchbook, and it was hard to start them and so on. I got better at that though. When my goal became to finish the sketchbook and not worry so much about how good the drawings were in them, suddenly I got a lot more done. So, and that's kind of what I mean about focusing on the process a little more. Uh, and trust me, I got better because of I did that, not worse. Even though my sketchbooks might be full of crappy drawings from it, that doesn't matter. I will say this, I've seen other artists do like sketchbook tours, and they show off their sketchbook. I, with the exception of like James Gurney, I feel very like I really wonder um, or question artists who do that and their sketchbook has like no bad drawings in it. Like, what is going on here? This is sketchy to me. Come on. Let's see. If it read that part, that says sketchy, no pun intended. Yeah, exactly. Sketchy for sure. Chris Breyer recently posted a review of Schminke's medium W gel, converting oil to water soluble paint. Any opinion on it? I haven't watched that, so I can't say. You wish there was an art store where you walk in and use any medium for an hour by paying rent. It would be so useful. Just dreaming. Yeah. So okay. I haven't. Wrong one. Okay, there we go. I haven't used that medium, and I don't know what his review was saying. But I will say that I don't find water mixable oils to be all that interesting anymore. Originally I thought I might use them, but once I found out how they work, I'm far less interested in them. Hold on, sorry, my camera's all messed up. Was it zoomed in a little more? No. What happened? It got all messed up. It was straight, now it's not. Um, let's see. Sujan says, I have little time for art in daily mundane. You feel guilty just sketching in that short time. You want to paint a full painting. You're just not satisfied with your sketchbook. I can totally empathize with that. It is it's very challenging, and painting is very time consuming. I don't think it's a quick process, unfortunately. Hold on, I'm gonna fix this. I don't know what happened, why it got all messed up, but let me just fix this real quick. So this, I used this to help me, what's it called? Square off everything. Letting you in on the little secrets behind the scenes, so to speak. Not that I really have any. This is just a useful thing I made up to help with it. Okay, that looks almost perfect. Hold on a second. Wow, zoom out portrait looks so realistic yet impressionistic. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. 1 second, let me fix this real quick. Driving me nuts here. There we go. Such a little thing, but it was driving me nuts personally. Okay. Yeah. Only reason I don't find it sketchy with James Gurney that he doesn't have any bad drawings in his sketchbook is because of how good he is, and also, I'm sure that he used to have a ton of them. He's just been doing it for so long. He just gets everything right away so often. It's just like, oh, whatever, man. You're just James Gurney at this point. So I'd say anybody at like James Gurney level, I assume they're not going to have a ton of bad stuff in their sketchbook. Also, like I said, he paints in his sketchbook with gouache or casein or other things, and he's ridiculously good at that. So Jen, I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of it's hard to make recommendations for people as far as like dealing with their time constraints. Dealing with time constraints is very hard. I deal with them myself, although I probably have far less than a lot of other people. Um, I, some of the advice I can give on that is if there's a few things. I could say, um, I can give advice as far as oil painting goes. There's a lot of things you can do to make it not so time consuming, or at least the setup and the teardown part. But you might not have those options, so it just depends. Um, and then the other thing I would say is uh, you can, if you want to practice painting and you have limited time, right? There's a few things you can do to kind of help with, not with your time, but help utilize your time well. Um, if you can, always use the medium that you're going to be painting with so you get as familiar with it as you can if it's not that familiar to you. If you're already like super comfortable with the medium, don't worry about that. Then just you can practice digitally and it'll translate to the medium, no problem. But if you're not used to using the medium, use the medium. Um, and then you can practice individual parts of painting without painting, right? You can practice color matching, you can practice value matching, you can practice chroma matching to value. You can practice your measuring. You can do all these things, and they can take very little time to do. And then when you go to paint, those things won't be, they'll be so much easier. You won't have to use a lot of a lot of your brain power on them, and so you'll be able to focus on the other aspects of the painting that you want to. Going back to briefly going back to, I'm kind of scattered, but the medium that you were talking about. The issue I have with water mixable oils is that you're not supposed to use water for anything but the cleanup, which really takes away so much of the interest in them that it takes it to a point where I'm just like, I don't know what the point of this is. If the only time I'm supposed to use water in my water mixable oil painting is when I'm cleaning up, I don't care at that point. Um, so maybe that's just me, but yeah, that is kind of how I feel about it. And then as far as like cleanup with my painting setup, I'm happy to talk about that, but I do recognize that not everybody will be able to do this. So my easel and my painting, um, by the way, this is not this is not a feature that's built into these. This is just it. These are cheap, so it came off. Let me fix that real quick. While I fix it, yeah, I have an easel that is always up. I never take it down. Um, I have room for it, and my lighting is always set up. Basically, everything is set up and never moves. Um, and that is a convenience that a lot of people don't have, but it is super convenient. if I didn't have this setup, I would try and recreate a setup that doesn't really move. Even if parts of it move, like if I take off, if I take the painting off and replace it and have to put the painting away and then bring it back, that's fine. But the setup overall, is the fact that it doesn't move makes it very quick to set up and tear down. And then my palette, I put my palette into I take my palette, it's just glass, and I put it in my into the palette box, whatever it's called. And that generally keeps the paint wet. That's real quick. Also, I have one of those little containers with clove oil in it to help with that as well. And then the final thing is cleaning the brushes. That is one of the biggest issues with oil painting. And my way of dealing with that is when I'm done painting, I take my brushes, I clean them in a container of Gamsol that I keep sealed otherwise. Then I clean it in another container like that with safflower oil. And I don't wipe all the oil out. I don't make sure to get every bit of oil out. I just clean them off and leave them. And safflower oil is very slow drying. So all my brushes are still wet the next day. If I can't paint the next day, I can take my brushes, dip them in some more safflower oil. They'll be good till the next day, and so on. Some people have created a brush dip, which is a mixture of a type of oil. No idea what type. I think walnut, but I'm not sure. Maybe safflower, and clove oil. And that's supposed to keep the brushes wet for even longer. I haven't made my own. You can buy it too. I haven't bought any either. But as long as you keep dipping them into the oil every day, theoretically, they should be good to go and not need to be washed. Within reason, of course. I wouldn't do that for a couple months without painting and be like, oh, my brushes should be fine. Probably not, but you know what I'm saying. Couple days, a week, yeah, they'll be fine. They should be fine. And doing that just makes everything so quick. You don't, when you start painting, it takes me a couple minutes to get set up. It takes me a couple minutes to tear down. And if that's, and very little effort, and if that's the barrier to start, you've just removed it. So yeah, you need to go. Thanks for this live. Your portrait is going great. Enjoy finishing the masterpiece. Thank you very much, and thanks for stopping by. Hope that would, hope you have a good night. All right. Okay, this needs a little more correction. I think for these very, very small ones, probably going to want to buy some firmer versions of these. It's funny, I didn't even buy these ones, but I'm really glad I have them. A friend of mine bought these for me, and while they are very, very cheap and falling apart, I do really enjoy them. Yeah, they keep falling apart on me. I can almost, I feel like I can almost replace brushes with these. But there's just a level of like finesse that they lack. So frustrating. I wish I could replace all my brushes with these. For two main reasons, I would love to replace all my brushes with these. One, um, they're so much easier to clean. Oh my God. Uh, Kyo says hi. Hi, Kyo. I'm probably, is it, no, wait, Kylo. Is that an, yeah, Kylo. Sorry, it's hard to see sometimes. Uh, my chat is like 2 to 3 feet away from me, so it's a little small sometimes. Hi, Kylo. Welcome. How are you doing today? Thanks for stopping by. That says, I'm going to be doing a painting with just those, you think? Mine are all small, though. I might have to get bigger ones. And these ones are pretty small, too. Uh, but yeah, if you want to do a bigger painting, you're definitely going to need some bigger ones. These ones are way too small to do a big painting with. But yeah, I do feel like there's a limitation to them that um, it just can't match certain aspects of brushes, unfortunately. But they're very useful for certain things, without a doubt. You're doing good. How about you? I'm doing good, Kylo. Thanks for asking. I'm just working on this portrait of myself. This is for, there's a YouTube channel called Dylan Sarah, and he has a what's it called? A podcast where he interviews people called Drawn Together, and the hosts draw the people they're interviewing and encourage the viewers to do the same. And also the interviewee usually does as well. So I did that, and um, I'm still working on my my self-portrait from it. So I'm going to be finishing it today. And that's the plan, at least. Are you an artist? Usually I assume people who stop by do are artists, to at least to, to some degree. Um, just because generally artists like to come by. But I do have some people who just appreciate art, and I appreciate that. Even if they don't make art themselves, I do appreciate that. Also, I do encourage everybody to make art. I always feel like people take the title of artist almost too seriously. Although I want to be taken seriously, I also want people to know that they can make art, even if they're not professionals. You don't need to be a pro to be an artist. I do find these very useful for like very small details. I will say that. These little silicone paint pusher thingies. I think if you want to do, I think there's like a level, like if you want to do very small details, these are useful because they don't fray. But if you want to do super duper duper small details, they can't compare to a brush. There are some brushes that are like a single hair. It's like, how is this usable? Okay, cool. I'll do that, I guess. Also, I generally don't like to paint that type of detail. I like to imply, so I don't not overly concerned about getting quite that detailed. In case anyone's wondering, I am saving this eye for pretty much the final part. Like that's basically going to be not going to say the very, very end of the whole painting, but it's going to be close to the last thing I touch on the painting. one day I'm gonna, actually I was gonna say buy, but I actually have, I think I have a couple of liner brushes. Just, I need to actually use them one day. If anyone isn't familiar with liner brushes, they're pretty much what they sound like. Are brushes to make lines with. It's very straightforward. They're also called rigger brushes because they were used to paint the rigging on what's it called, boats and stuff, like sailboats. Um, so if you see that, they're these thin, long brushes that are able to hold a lot of wet paint. That's what that's the specialty kind of thing. So you can do like long, continuous lines with thin, long, continuous lines with them. Oh, the eye and I think the nose are probably the last two things I'm gonna really do. The nose needs a highlight going down the, it's kind of got it here, but it needs more, especially here. I've just left that for the last bit, knowing that I'm going to be putting it in. Yep. So hard to keep my hair out of this sometimes. I'm gonna try and use my little stool here, but we'll see. See how it goes. Trying to balance between details and the impression of things. So challenging sometimes. I wish YouTube would stop reminding me that I'm not talking. uh, that is way too high up. Makes me look like I'm sneering. Okay, this is annoying. Let's. There we go. Sometimes it's so much easier to just start over. Also, I need more red when I get a chance. By the way, I should mention anyone who comes in on Twitch, I'm simul streaming. So if you follow or um, subscribe, basically any of the like alert features, I don't see any of those because that's just too much setup for me. So I don't have those set up, and I don't see them. But anyone who does do those things, I appreciate it very much. I'm just not set up for all of that. So I don't want people to feel like I'm ignoring them, but yeah, I literally can't see the alerts because I have too many things on my screen all at once. And also, I prioritize YouTube over Twitch as far as like platforms, uh, only for two reasons. One, I can stream at higher quality on YouTube, and I can stream um, with lower bit rate at higher quality. So if I have to ever choose between the two, that one gets the priority. Luckily, I can simul stream, but in case it ever comes up, even though the chat's so much better on Twitch and the delay is less. I suspect the delay is less only because it's lower quality. Also, if we're getting into technical stuff, YouTube has a serious advantage over Twitch for people who have limited bandwidth. Um, because Twitch does not do a good job of like changing the quality depending on your bandwidth, whereas YouTube does. So anyone who's limited on bandwidth and watching on their phone or something like that, YouTube's much better about that. Where is my paint? Oh my god, I can't believe it's already almost 10:30. Freaking time just flies. Oh, we have a cat. We got a cat, everybody. Dresden. Hi, little boy. Hi. Oh, oh, little boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Dresden, that's you. Jesus. He's so stupid. Oh, he's so dumb. Ever since he saw another cat on my stream, on my screen, he freaks out at stuff he sees on my screen. And now when he saw himself in my OBS, he freaked out because he's like, oh no, another cat. Dresden, calm down, little boy. There's no other cat here. It's just you and me. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down, calm down. Shh, shh. There's no one here but you and me. Don't worry about it. Oh, you're safe. Don't worry. There's no other cat here. See? No other cat here. Okay, okay, okay. Look. See? No cat. No cat. I had to close OBS so he wouldn't see himself. Okay. Go sit in my chair. He's so dumb. I love him, but oh my god, he is not the brightest. I also lowered my chair one day, and it's an office chair type of thing, and you hit the thing and it lowers, and it made a clunk sound. Scared the shit out of him. So now he's afraid of that too. Eventually his little brain will forget all about those things and he'll be fine, but yeah, but until he forgets about those things, he's gonna be afraid of literally nothing for no reason. I feel like my camera might be a little too aggressive in its like swings. Maybe there's a way I can adjust it so it's not as like volatile with the moving. I just don't know how to do that. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't even want it to zoom in as much as it does. I just want it to be able to like pan around and follow me. So I don't like to paint individual hairs too much. There's occasionally like an individual hair here and there. It adds adds something. So I'll paint that in. Generally, though, I like to um, simplify the shapes, imply texture, and so on. Um, One of the things I do, though, is I'll use my brush and gently, like barely touching the canvas. I'll saturate it with a lot of paint, and then I'll go in and I'll paint in some of the hairs. Only thing is, you gotta be careful not to overdo it. That's a little too dark there. I'm gonna have to fix that one. Um, but by going in gently, the brush does help give that illusion of like hair. And you can make brushes to do that, but I generally don't like that look. I just want a little bit of it, not like a whole painting full of that. Also the edges. It's really useful to just use the corner of the brush and kind of wiggle it as you go to give less uniformed marks. Thing is, as much as I love Bob Ross, I want to avoid the Bob Ross kind of technique of painting. Funny thing is, I'll be honest, I don't think I love Bob Ross's paintings so much as I love like Bob Ross the person and how much he like encouraged people to just paint and make it fun and focus on that aspect of everything. Also, I totally respect his abilities as a painter, like the way he could paint those paintings in real time kind of thing. Yeah, that is still impressive regardless of his technique. Okay. Huh. I think this might be Too dark. That's too bright. All right, we'll keep it at that. I feel like the settings on my camera magically change when I'm in between painting streams. I don't know why or how, but yeah. All right, I've focused on that enough. The lips, though, do need some work. This says, trying to sketch out that dog again. You've been putting it off for too long. You got this, Des. It's not a big deal. You'll get it. Remind me, Des, do you have access to Photoshop? Or do you use Krita? I think you use Krita, if I remember correctly. Krita. Okay. Does Krita... It's been a while since I used Krita. Does Krita have filters? I'm assuming they have filters to edit your... Do they have a filter called glowing edges or neon, maybe neon colors or something edges? Anything that finds and highlights the edges. They don't have to be glowing. They could just be cutouts that finds the edges. Anything that finds the edges would be useful. Because if it does, then you can easily do the trick that I did with the reference to help you see where things are. Edge detection, yeah, cool. What does it give you? Does it turn your, if you take your reference photo, does it turn it into like a outline with edges that outline your like shadows and lights and everything, basically? It turns it into a black image with white outlines. Okay, very similar. Yeah, there you go. So the reason I mention it is if you have that option, you can just go ahead and draw it in, and don't worry too much about getting it right away. Just go to town, have fun, get it in there as fast as you want, you know. Um, and then you can go and see how much correction you need to do after the fact. Um, if that's helpful, if that's something that would, like, if that's a system that you think would speak to you more. Because personally, I do prefer that because, like, I just want to get in there and start. So I rather make mistakes and correct them um, than I do, like, slowly going in and making sure that everything's in the right place to begin with. And, um, yeah. If you go back and look at some of my painting streams, you'll see that, like, some of these paintings, I'll block in the whole thing in like 20 minutes, you know. It's not perfect. I end up spending a lot more time correcting, and I'll be honest, if I were to, like, compare, you know, does getting it right the first time or correcting, which one's faster? I honestly don't know. I know which one I prefer to do, generally speaking. Um, for numerous reasons. But yeah. Anyways, obviously you do it the way that works for you. That was just a suggestion if putting it off is making it harder. It's so weird. I almost never get glare, but I'm getting glare here. It's messing with my eyes. Ah, I hit the camera. Yeah. So I was talking with my art, I guess art teacher is the right term. Although it feels really weird at this point to say. Mentor, maybe, might be more accurate. Um, But I'm part of Chelsea Lang's boot camp, and we were talking about my streams and everything. And she asked me a really good question, which is, do I mention it that my paintings are for sale? And if I do, how often? And while I've mentioned it a couple times, I'm pretty sure it's a very rare occurrence on my stream. So I need to get better at that. So just going to mention that right now. If anybody is interested in buying any of the paintings from stream, they are for sale. Just DM me through my website or Instagram or Discord. Yeah, need to be better about that. It feels so uncomfortable doing that. It's a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, not entirely. Like it's a little awkward, but at the same time, like I do want people to know that they're for sale. You know, I sold I met someone through our Painted Lives live chat. Uh, and they saw my paintings eventually, and they ended up buying one of my paintings. And it's like, yeah, I do want people to own my paintings. If I knew how to set up giveaways legally, there's all kinds of weird legal stuff about them, I'd do that. Eventually, I probably will do that. I just don't know how to set them up right now. Because yeah, I want people to own my paintings. I want my paintings to go to people and houses and places where they'll be appreciated. Uh, you know, uh, so yeah, it can be a little awkward, but at the same time, I don't know. It felt really good to have my one of my paintings hanging on someone's wall next to one of their Nicholas Uribe paintings. Like that is amazing. Hey Donnelly, good to see you. How you doing, man? Hi Dresden. Are you gonna freak out again if I pick you up? Ah, stupid cat. Dresden's in my room, but I can't pick him up right now. He's freaked out at the moment. When I pick him up, um, he saw another cat on my screen once, and it freaked him out. And today, when I picked him up, he saw himself in the OBS preview window, and it freaked him out. So, um, can't pick him up right now and have him on screen because he freaks out, and I don't want to scare him. I want him to get used to not being afraid in my room again because he's a little dumb and will forget about it eventually. Doing good. Was You were doing some self promo in Cremo Egbert's stream? They were doing a draw along. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, self promo's not easy to do. And it's really silly that it's so hard for some of us because like if you think about it, right? Like, you know, if I'm looking at it from a perspective of like a viewer, right? And I'm following a painter that I really like. I might not think about the fact that their paintings are that they're working on right now is for sale. You know what I mean? And them saying that it's for sale and telling me how I can buy it can actually, can be a good thing. Like, I mean, when Nicholas Uribe started doing his daily paintings stuff, I snapped one of those up as soon as I could, and they sold out so fast. So yeah, it's really weird that it's so difficult and so awkward. What is this, Don Lee? Oh, nice. That's fun. It was a fun stream. They were doing dad bod drawings, just being silly about it. Awesome. That's good. They also did dad bod wrestlers. Okay, cool. I'll take a look at it in a minute. Let's see this. Oh, nice. That's fun. Ah, that's a lot of fun. Very cool. Portrait is coming along nicely. Are you treating it a bit similar to the portrait you won the contest with? No, not exactly. Um, I'll explain the what's going on in a minute. Just let me real quick focus. But no, not quite. Although I can see, I guess, the similarities. Um, that one was the portrait I won the competition with. I was trying to do the color shift effect, where like that there's a word for it, chromatic aberration, I think it is. It's where the and I forget exactly how it works. I think it's flaws in the lens that makes the light spectrum kind of start to spread out, so you get that fraying of color. Um, if I'm not mistaken, that's how that happens. So I can see some, but that's not the only thing. Obviously, there's more like stuff happening in it. Part of that is because um, I was using all kinds of filters to help my to edit my photos to help me, um, you know, be able to kind of make those effects and everything. I was trying to recreate wet plates a lot. That was the one of the filters I used a lot was some wet plate photography filters. Uh, Donnelly says yes. The multiple planes of the glass in a lens cause it. Yeah, yeah. Um, it's kind of like a what's it called? It's kind of like a prism. How it breaks the light into like the what's it called a rainbow is kind of the same idea. Just it works a little differently, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. Here, it's not quite the same idea. Um, yeah. Um, Here, the idea is I'm kind of like the reality on the edges of the painting are basically kind of fraying. And so it's kind of like you could look at it as spreading out or coming together to form the image, depending on how you want to look at it. Um, that's the kind of the thought behind it, or the concept. And that's really just a way of it's it's just a way of making a mental framework for me to latch onto to figure out how to make it look that way. It doesn't actually have to be that. It's just sometimes we just need something in our head to know what we want to do or to understand it in a way. And the rest of it is, not really important. So if someone, for instance, looks at this and does not understand it that way, that's absolutely fine. It is not that important almost. It's just a way for me to like conceptualize it so I can make the painting and give it that effect. After that, it's less important. Well, whatever's going on there, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've said this before, but I'm very inspired by music, and how a lot of my favorite songs are very much up for interpretation. Like there's a general kind of idea and a general kind of vibe to it, but a lot of it's not cut and dry. And I really like that. So I appreciate that, Donnelly. That means a lot to me. Yeah, I was able to pull it back a bit. Originally, when I put down a bunch of paint over here, it was super duper messy, and it was like in the right direction, but it wasn't right yet. And like I said, having that mental framework and kind of rethinking it a little bit and like reevaluating it really helped it all kind of come together, I think. All right, let's get this eye done. Be the fun part. Did I zoom in for the eyes? Do you guys want me to zoom in so you can see better? This is the zoom in. What do you think? Yes or no? I know it's a little blurry. Uh, this is about as good as I can get it. So my eyes are not actually this bright of a color that I'm putting down right now, but idea, welcome. But I'm going to put down brighter color first because it's a lot easier to pull it back from being so bright. How are you doing today? You're doing well. How about you? I'm doing good. Doing good. Just working on finishing this painting. Donley, you had to step away and you're back. What'd you miss? I am going in and trying to finish the eye. Um, yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. A little blurry, unfortunately, because I can't get my camera to. It's a digital zoom, not a what's it called? Real zoom right now, but it's what I got. It's good to hear. Yeah, thanks. I'm looking forward to being done with this painting. I I get tired of paintings, even if I like them. After a while, I'm just like I want to be done with this more than anything right now. Not an optical zoom. It's still pretty cool that you can zoom. Yeah. The problem is I can. It's like my camera can do an optical zoom, but because of the angle and the way that the what's it called? That the filter that like distorts it works. If I use the optical zoom, the distortion gets all messed up. So it's like I have to choose between one of those. So I have to choose between messing with the camera like crazy or just using the optical zoom. Clearly, I end up going with the optical zoom. I mean, the digital zoom, not optical, sorry. I'm not sure what I'm going to be working on after this, though. I have a bunch of paintings that I need to finish, so I should probably work on those next, but I'm not sure if I will. Digital zoom it is, then yeah, exactly. It's just too much hassle otherwise. I like what's his name setup. Um, oh geez, I can't believe Scrodello. He uses his like foot pedals from his guitar as a shortcut keys kind of thing to like change his views and everything. I think that's such a cool idea. What's his name? Arthur Gaines. I know he has a zoom in feature. I just don't know if it's a digital or optical zoom. His setup is crazy. I don't know how he paints like that. It's insane. I tried doing something similar. I can't do it. I don't know how he does it. Only says, oh yeah, I've seen Scrodella do that before. Cool setup. Yeah, it's a cool setup. Like I said, I don't know how Arthur Gaines does it. Arthur Gaines has his camera hanging from the ceiling behind him. And the way he paints, it's like angled between his head and his arm. And occasionally he gets in the way of it, but he's pretty good about staying out of the way of it. I'm just like, how do you do that? I can't paint like that. I don't know how he does that. I do remember Toronto Wolf. Uh, okay, that's cool. Cool. All right. So these thingies, um, these ones are Meeden. That's the name, the brand name. You can't see it really well, but it's like Meeden, Meeden. I don't recommend them. They fall apart. The top keep falling off. But this type of tool is really useful. I recommend the type of tool, not the brand. Meeden, if you want to come after me, send me some stuff. I'll review it. I'm kidding. They're not going to do that. It's a cheap brand off of Amazon. A friend of mine bought these for me, which was really cool. My friend, I appreciate it very, very much, but they do fall apart. I said this earlier, these are almost good enough to be brush replacements, but they're just not. I wish they were so bad. I one time did a portrait um, as a gift. It was for my mom, and it was a painting of me as a child and my aunt. And it was this moment that when I was like a baby that my mom really liked the photo, and my aunt has passed away. So that was the main focus, not me as a child, but I happened to be in it. And it's an old photo, so not very good quality. And I was trying to look at the photo and I'm like, man, I can't see what my eyes looked like. And I was like, because it's such a small photo, I know what her eyes look like because she's an adult, bigger, and also she had brown eyes. So it was easier. Or did she? Jeez, I can't remember. Anyways, hold on. Des says, well, I'm going for now. Pissing myself off using the proportion tool, and I'm still messing up. You need to just go to bed. All right, Des. If you want, I feel like the proportion tool isn't doing you any favors, and I don't know if it's because um, I'm not sure why, but yeah. Have a good night. Don't worry about it. Let's talk to maybe we can chat tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a Discord call, like an open Discord call or something if I have time. But yeah, don't worry about it. You'll I've seen your paintings. You'll get it. Anyway, so finally I was like, oh, wait a second. I can just look at my actual eyes instead of the eyes of myself in the reference. No, it's just like, oh yeah, I can just look in the mirror. There is that. That was a funny moment. But the other thing I wanted to say about that was when I did do that and I painted my eyes, I realized like the first iteration of it, I like went in and detailed the heck out of it and did all the like, I forget what they're called, but all the little strands in the eye and everything. And if all you did was look at the eye, it looked great, but it did not look good in the painting. So it is difficult sometimes to get the right amount of detail in in these things. But yeah, sometimes less is more. Actually, a lot of times less is more. I used to have an art teacher that would say that all the time. Less is more, like all the time. And I'm like, okay, but like sometimes more is more, right? And it's like, yes, but less is more. It's like, okay. You like my art teacher? Yeah. I've had some really cool art teachers. Had some insane ones. Wait, a lot of them were probably insane and cool too. I had one that wasn't cool, just insane. Really good though. I don't know, maybe it was kind of cool. It's hard for me to tell. I was like 15. What the fuck do I know? Honestly, I think he was a pervert. But, you know, I could be wrong about that too. Like I said, I was 15. What the fuck do I know? It wasn't that art teacher though that said that. It was the other art teacher. Yeah, the old Russian guy, like I said, he was kind of crazy. And the reason I say pervert is because he would tell us stories about how he would go on the beach and like basically hit on young women with his wife. So, I'm not going to judge people's kinks, but like, yeah, it's just kind of weird to be talking about it. One of my other art teachers, he was amazing. I just wish he didn't have his uh, drinking issue. He was a bit of an alcoholic, which caused a lot of problems, unfortunately. Yeah, it's funny. Alcoholism in the movies is a lot funnier, and TV is a lot funnier than it is in real life. Although every once in a while it's pretty funny in real life too. Too big. Need to clean this up a bit. It is the one problem. I tend to work with kind of dirty brushes, and so when I do need a clean color, it's a lot more work for me. Luckily, Phthalo can outpower nearly anything. Oh, geez, it's already 11:30. All right. Almost done with this. Almost. So close. It is really so close. At this point, it's just like this little bit of hair stuff I'm trying to get in there. It's definitely not staying like that. Alrighty. Oh, wait. Almost forgot. I was planning on putting this in. Almost forgot. Okay. Um, yeah, I think this might be done. Might not be. Like, I might let it rest and come back and see, a little something here or there, but like for the most part. Like I said, I might find like little details here and there to mess with, but you know, for the most part, I think it's done. So I am going to call it done and call it a night. I stream 3 times a week. Uh, Wednesday night, Monday night, Wednesday night, and Sunday day. So Sunday afternoon, Central Time, Austin, Texas time, because that's where I live, or Chicago if it's more convenient to know time based off of Chicago. And yeah, you know, all the YouTubey things, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow me on all the links. Go check out Dylan Sarah's YouTube channel. He's the one who had me on for an interview. It was really cool of him to do. It was a lot of fun. And the Drawn Together podcast is a lot of fun in general. I highly recommend it just to get into drawing, get into painting, and have a good time and so on. I try and participate whenever I can, although, I have a job too, and storyboards are time consuming sometimes, so can't always do it. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to call it a night, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you all for stopping by. And yeah, I'll be back on, what day is it today? Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. I'll be back on Sunday, painting a new painting or going back to an old painting. We'll see. But yeah, thank you everybody very much. Have a good night. See you hopefully Sunday. Oh, Discord too, if you ever want. It's a great place to interact with me and also get feedback and stuff like that. Nice work. See you. Thanks, Donley. I think it came out okay. Pretty happy with it.